Today we're getting into some of the cozy games that I personally think are underrated. I feel like I always try to highlight underrated games in my list, so there's a chance that if you've watched other videos of mine, you would have seen some of these games. I really wanted to make a whole list of all those games that I think deserve more love and more hype in the cozy gaming community. Some of these might be a little bit of unpopular opinions, but we'll see. Without further ado, let's get started. First game on my list is Bear and Breakfast. I've talked about how I think this game was severely underrated in its time over and over. Of course, I had to include it in this list. This game came out a couple years ago and the reviews weren't very good at the time. And a lot of people have told me that after revisiting, they actually realized that they really loved the game. I think this was a case of a game that was too hyped and the expectations weren't really aligned with what the game was supposed to be about. I always describe it as people expecting it to be the sleepy time bear, but it turned out to be more like We Bare Bears, which is one of my favorite shows. So I really loved this game. This is a laid-back management adventure game where you build and run a bed and breakfast, but you're a bear. There are so many things about this game that I consider extremely cozy. One of the things being the art style. I really love the art style of this game. It has a very interesting, very cartoony story behind it, which I appreciate. The whole time you really feel like you're watching a cartoon from like Cartoon Network when you were a kid. It has that kind of quirky, silly vibe. Another thing about this game is that it has really funny and cute dialogue, which I always really appreciate. It has so many different characters and all of the characters have so much personality. I also really love all of the customization aspect of this game. You are able to decorate and customize your bed and breakfast pretty much to your heart's content. Paint the walls and place furniture, decorations, and all that kind of stuff in order to make your bed and breakfast as comfortable as possible for the visitors. You bring guests into the forest to stay at your inn. You keep them happy to maintain your reputation, earn money, and attract new customers. If you played this game a few years ago and weren't really vibing with it, or if you listened to the reviews and were a little bit put off, I would recommend for you to give it another try. I'm just saying. The next game on my list is another one that I can't believe I haven't heard more hype around it, and that is Infinity Nikki. I absolutely loved this game when it came out. In this game, you play as Infinity Nikki, who gets teleported into a different dimension in which you have different powers, but your powers are connected to what dresses you wear. You go on different quests in order to help the townsfolk. There are so many different areas and mysteries to discover in the town, and a lot of them help you unlock new dresses. There's also different dress quests in which you have to put together the best outfit for the occasion. It's so much fun. They often release different collaborations. Recently they released one with Stardew Valley, which is very cute. This is an open world adventure game. I often like to describe it as like a girly pop Breath of the Wild. Why is this game not more hype? Not only can you play on your computer, you can play on your phone. It's completely free. I feel like a lot more people should get in the Infinity Nikki train. I think some people have been put off by the fact that it's a gacha game. There are microtransactions, and maybe if you have a tendency to spend way too much money in gacha games, maybe this is not the game for you. But I have friends who have played this game ever since it came out last year, and they have not spent a single dollar on it. So it can be done, and you are definitely able to access the entire story and the entire gameplay without having to spend money on the game. I think this game needs to be more hyped because you get so much story, so much gameplay for a free game. I think it's really impressive. The next game on my list, it's a little bit different, and that is Wandersong. I've talked about this game many times before. I don't really understand why this game hasn't gotten the love that it deserves. It's such a beautiful game. I've mentioned it in a lot of my lists because anytime I get a chance, I mention this game. In this game, you play as an unlikely hero. You are a bard who is summoned to save the world with your music. This is a rhythm-based adventure game, which I know sounds really weird, but let me tell you, it works. You're able to interact with the environment with your singing and make your way through the story in that way as well. This game has a beautiful story. It has so much heart. All of the characters in this game are so endearing, and I feel like this is a good game to play around this time because of the state of the world. This game has a through line of hope in the face of chaos that I think just makes it so special. It also has a vibe of shows that we know and love, like Adventure Time or Steven Universe. It has that kind of like silly, wholesome, but also really deep and meaningful message. So if you haven't played it yet, I really recommend it. Next on my list is Core Keeper. We don't talk about Core Keeper enough. I rarely hear people talk about this game and cannot tell you how many hours I have hyper fixated in this game. It's truly so good. If you would ask me for a recommendation on a survival game, this is probably the one I would recommend. This is a survival adventure game in which you venture into some magical mines and you have to survive, gathering food, gathering materials, making weapons, and creating a base. I love this game so much. It's really one of those games that has been made to perfection. I have never played a survival game that feels so comfortable to play. I'm usually not a very survival game person because I find them a little bit overwhelming with trying to figure out all of the recipes and how to craft things and where to find things. Core Keeper, for some reason, just eliminates all of that. There's something about the gameplay that feels very streamlined. I think that's the word I would use. It's so streamlined. You can also play this game with friends. One of my favorite things to do when I was very like neck deep into my Core Keeper hyperfixation was having people over and going into people's minds so that we could see how everyone had it decorated and stuff. I will say, combat doesn't feel very intimidating to me. And if you are on your way to fight a boss, you can always call your friends and they can come over and help you with the bosses, which I think is a really good, fun, cozy plan. Next on my list is Bugsnax. This game has to be one of the most underrated cozy games of all time. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that it's a weird game. Especially, I think, in the aesthetic of it. If you don't like weird looking games, maybe if you look past that, you're gonna love this game because it's so fun. This is an adventure puzzle game in which you venture into Snacktooth Island. You are invited by an explorer who now seems to be missing. So you are tasked with discovering the mystery of this disappearance. And while you do that, you're actually discovering Bugsnax, which are these strange creatures between animals and snacks. You have to figure out how to capture them in order to solve the puzzles and get through the story. This game is so intuitive, so engaging, so silly, so fun, so queer. I love the aesthetic. It's very, very weird. It feels a little bit Muppety. I can understand maybe that being something that puts you off a little bit, but if you've been looking for a nice puzzle adventure game, this one will really feel your heart. Obviously, this game is for adults, but it feels like a game that you would play as a kid. There's something about it that has like this unbridled joy and creativity that it's just so much fun. It's just so much fun. Next, I have to talk about Venba. This game, it honestly kind of breaks my heart the way that this game was received when it first came out a couple years ago, because a lot of people decided not to play it because they thought it was overpriced. And I couldn't disagree more. I think this game was severely underrated, and I think the people who were reviewing this game were selling it short. There is a lot to be said about games and prices, I think, especially when you're talking about a smaller developer and story-based games that have important stories. Then the question of price is a little bit more nuanced than just being like, well, this game is a couple hours, so it shouldn't be this price. There should be more of a nuanced conversation about that kind of stuff, especially in the cozy gaming community, but in the gaming community as a whole. I personally really love this game. I think it tells a really beautiful story that I think is really important, especially right now, about immigrants. If you haven't played it, I think you should, because it's really, really beautiful. I have a gameplay of this game in my channel, and I cried so many times. It's a story about an Indian family who moved to Canada to live in the 80s, follows kind of the trials and tribulation of what it's like to kind of grapple with your culture when you are trying to assimilate to a different culture. It also follows a really interesting story about children of immigrants and how it's easier for them to assimilate to a different culture because they were born in it, and how that reflects into the choices that they make in their life. It's really, really interesting. It's so stunning, and it also has a really beautiful way to tell story through food. This game is all about cooking Indian meals, and it comes in the shape of puzzles and figuring out recipes. I thought the puzzles were really engaging and fun, and every single one of the meals looks incredible. If you were put off by the price of this game, let me tell you, it is absolutely worth it. I think the people who made this game deserve that money and more, honestly, for creating such a beautiful and meaningful game. As an immigrant myself, it meant a lot to me. So I'm here to tell you it is so underrated and you should definitely play it. The next game on my list is one that I don't hear people talking about at all, and is honestly a game that I find pretty groundbreaking for cozy gamers, and that game is called Slime Heroes. In this game, you play as the last slime tasked with savoring their home. It is a 3D action adventure Slimes-like. You customize your slime, collect weapons and gear, battle challenging enemies and bosses, gain skills, and combine them to create your own abilities to suit your playstyle. The reason why I wanted to include this game on this list is because this game is completely customizable for your gameplay ability. I think it's really awesome because you can truly personalize your experience to how you want to play the game. You can play with another friend and you guys can both have different settings on difficulties and still play at the same time. I just find that so fun. Like if you're playing with someone who maybe doesn't like combat at all, maybe they can have their difficulties all the way down so that they can actually enjoy the game while they're playing with you, or the other way around. If you're playing with someone who's far more skilled than you, maybe they can put their difficulties up. I think it's so wonderful to see developers take into consideration the fact that all gamers are different and we all want different things from different games. The fact that we can have that in games like this, I think is severely underrated, never been done before, just amazing. And I think more people should play this game, especially cozy gamers, because if you're the kind of person who doesn't like a lot of combat and you have friends who do like playing combat, maybe you can compromise by playing a game like this, and I think that's really fun. The next couple of games on my list are Nintendo games, and I feel like these games might not be underrated as a whole in the gaming world, but I think they are underrated in the cozy gaming community. First one I have to mention is Echoes of Wisdom. I feel like a lot of us really loved this game, but for some reason it wasn't as hyped as other Zelda games that we have had in the cozy gaming community. Interesting to me that we hyped up games like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, open world adventure games, much more challenging than this game, but we didn't give this game the love that it deserved. We need to give it more love. Echoes of Wisdom is just so good. It's so perfect for the cozy gamer. This is one of the few Zelda games where you can actually play as Princess Zelda. In this game, you are the one saving Hyrule because your trusty, mysterious swordman Link has gone missing. It is up to you to use your magic to get him back and save the world. You have the power of echoes, so you have to solve the puzzles by materializing all of these different weapons and objects. It's a top-down Zelda game, which are some of my absolute favorite. I find them cozier, I find them sillier, and just perfect, especially for handheld. I think you're really gonna like this one. Another Nintendo game that I think is extremely underrated is Princess Peach Showtime. I feel like a lot of us were very excited for this game, and then it came out and I don't know what happened. I kind of forgot about it. I saw maybe a couple of reviews of people being like, oh, it's not that good. So I was kind of put off. I regret it because one of my best friends was like, you need to play this game. It's so much fun. I just got it. You got to play it, and then lent it to me, and I've been playing it and I've been loving it so much. I think there's something to be said about Nintendo games that have women protagonists. I think there's something something telling me that that's maybe a reason why these games don't get hyped as much or people don't like him as much. But I think we need to hype him up because they're so good. In this game, you play as Peach, who is going to her theater only to find that a mysterious entity has taken over. You have to go through every level, and every level has a different theme for a different play. Each play comes with a different costume and a different ability, a different ambiance, and a different set. Love the fact that there are so many girly pop transformations in this game. It makes it so whimsical and so just unadulterated fun. And the gameplay, that quintessential level-based Nintendo Mario style game. There's also a demo for it in case you're not sure if you want to buy it. More people should play this game. And last but not least, I just have to talk about Pikmin. I mean, I'm sorry. I know I talk about Pikmin every time I can, and I will continue to do that. Actually, I'm not sorry. Obviously, Pikmin is a huge part of the Nintendo franchise, but I think we don't give it enough love in the cozy gaming community. This is my favorite Nintendo franchise. I will talk about it until Nintendo decides that they would like to sponsor me about a new Pikmin game or something. And then I will keep talking about it even after that. For those who don't know, in this game, you play as a space alien person who finds themselves in this mysterious world filled with weird creatures, and some of the creatures are actually quite friendly, and they're called Pikmin. You are collecting Pikmins and they are helping you out with different tasks. Depending on which Pikmin you play, there's a different story and a different reason why the Pikmins are helping you. There are different types of Pikmin and each of them have a different power. Firstly, I mean, I'm completely biased because these games are my childhood. Secondly, how can you not like Pikmin? Look at how cute they are. Okay, I'm done talking about Pikmin. But if you haven't played it, I think you would really, really love it. And those are all the underrated cozy games that I wanted to talk about today. I actually had a question put up in my stories on Instagram asking you guys which games you thought were the most underrated cozy games, and these were your answers. I thought it was really interesting to see what you guys had to say. If you guys would like to participate in any of this questionnaires or polls or whatever, make sure you're following me on Instagram. Like this video if you liked it, it helps my channel so much. And please comment below what are the games that you think are the most underrated in the cozy gaming community. I would love to know. Thinking of making a game of overrated games in the cozy gaming community. Let me know if you would like to see that because I might have some hard takes. Let me know in the comments, and most importantly, remember to take care of yourself, have some rest, have some water, and I will see you in the next video.